Hi, I'm Heidi Lee. I'm here at the Hub Culture Pavilion with Sportmax in New York City. I'm sitting here with Kathy Battista. She's the director of Sotheby's Institute of Art here in New York. Welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
It's wonderful to see you again. In terms of education in the arts, where do you see the Sotheby's Institute of Art heading, and what do you see its role in the community?
Well, I think that the unique thing about the Sotheby's Institute programs is that we aren't a traditional school. So while we do teach traditional art history on a graduate level, we have a very emphatic focus on the market and on new trends. So for example, when Jeffrey Deitch was made director of MoCA, we pretty instantly, within a week, put a panel together of experts to talk about that new development. So I think in some ways it moves a bit quicker than traditional academia. I think if you wanted to be a traditional academic, you probably would go to NYU or Cornell or Columbia for art history. And I think the people who come to us, although some of them do go on to PhDs, I think they're more interested in being cultural producers or curators.
Right. So would you say the method of teaching is object-oriented and versus looking at textbooks all day long, you're looking at art?
It's absolutely object-oriented. And while we do classroom lectures, we are out and about quite a lot within the city and further afield, nationally and internationally. And we put a lot of emphasis on how to deal with other professionals, artists, curators, gallery dealers. So when we're out, we look at the work, but we also talk to people. And a big part of the program is kind of learning how to move through the professional world.
So you're on the forefront of what's happening in the contemporary art world, and you know what's happening trend-wise and what artists are, what they're up to. And is that how you select the artists for your artist series?
Absolutely. I mean, it sometimes has to do with who's in town. So recently, the curator, Abase Mervalli, was in town, who was formerly director of the UMEX collection in Mexico City. So because she was in town, we said, come in and give a talk. And Gregory Green was in town and came in and talked about making faux bombs. So it's a combination of who happens to be in town and who is normally in New York. We have a pretty good idea of who's coming to town because many of our faculty work outside of this. I think all of our faculty work outside of our academic jobs and do other things.
Oh, yes. Speaking of extracurricular activities.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this book series.
Okay, well, it's for IB Tauris, which is a British publisher, and they're quite political. They publish a lot of books on, say, the Yemen or Iran, and they're a very interesting publisher, and I like them because they don't follow a formula. Many publishers have formulas that you have to fit into, and the first book is about feminist artists in London, really focusing on the 1970s, but then also looking forward to the 80s and 90s to see how that work may have influenced or kind of filtered down through the next generations. And it also, I'm hoping that it redresses a bit of the cultural amnesia about feminism in London. But my hope is that it will address some of the holes in people's memory. So for example, there are artists such as Kate Walker who made very radical quilts years before Tracy Emin did. And I'm sure Tracy Emin didn't even know about them because these artists aren't taught at school.
They're not taught.
And I find with the American artists of the same generation, they've all had MIT books, and we've had major museum exhibitions, like Global Feminisms, and we have had WAC, but this hasn't happened in Britain. So I'm pretty excited about it because I really want younger generations of artists, and
maybe the book will lead to an exhibition?
Yes, we've been thinking about that, but I'd like to somehow make something cross-generational, and I'd also like it to be in some place that's not normally used for showing art, because so much of the work was originally not shown in places that were institutional.
Thank you so much, Kathy Battista, for joining me tonight, and I wish you the best of luck with the book series.
You're welcome. Thank you.